Hey friend, Chris Vandeviver here from WhyLogicProRules.com. Today we're going to get right down to laying down an idea using the tools included in Logic. I'll demonstrate to you how easy it is to get right down to creating, and then we'll kind of dissect everything that went into it. So I have a guitar idea, and I have my guitar plugged into my audio interface. Now I could just plug in my guitar, turn on the metronome right up here, hit record, and start recording along to a metronome, but I find that it's much more intuitive to record along to some other instrumentation. And it's amazing that Logic comes included with so many tools to help give us guidance and inspiration for our music. So instead, I'm going to turn off the click track, but you're welcome to use the metronome if you need it. I'm going to open up a drummer track. Now, drummer is an AI drum performer. If we go right up to the track menu here, go down to new drummer track, we now have what is called a drummer region. It's this pre-populated piece of music. If we hit play, we have this full-blown drum performance at our disposal to play along to. And we can go down to the XY grid here and adjust between loud and soft performance or simple to complex. So if I drag this puck to the loud complex section, we should see the drummer region change and adapt to that. And if I drag this down to the other bottom corner, we can even adjust the different drum elements that are included in the performance. With these sliders, we can adjust how much of each instrument is being played or different styles of performance. We can adjust the fills. And even the swing, and there's more details beyond that. Now, for now, I actually want something a little more hip-hop oriented. So I'm going to go up to what is called the library here, and it's this button that looks like a filing cabinet. And I'm going to select from the hip-hop section of the drummers, and let's just start digging through. So now Logic is trying to let us know that if we change the drummer, we're also going to lose the performance. That's A-okay. I'm going to change drummer here, and I'm going to take a listen. Okay, that's a little crazy for me, so maybe move this over here. Let's try Anton here once again. And then we have different presets as well that we can choose from. Okay, and then if we go right up here, we can adjust the BPM of our song, which is beats per minute, which is how fast or slow the song is going to be. I'm going to bring this down a bit to about 85, I think. All right, feels pretty good to me. Okay, so now I want to introduce a bass sound. I think it'll help fill out this production when I record my guitar. If I close the library again using this filing cabinet button, and then I'm going to go over here to what looks like a loop, and this is the loop browser. Logic provides us with literally thousands of pre-recorded pieces of audio that are known as Apple loops, and there's a variety of instruments. We dig into the instrument tab here. We have drum kits, percussion, we have mallets and vibes, synthetic bass, electric bass, sound effects, jingles, more than you could possibly imagine. And they're broken up into either audio loops, MIDI loops, or drummer loops. So you can see here, this is a drummer region. If I introduce an audio loop, it looks like a piece of audio, and you can tell that it's audio because it's this line that goes up and down across what is called the zero crossing. And the zero crossing is this line that stretches across the entire audio region. Then we have MIDI loops. If I drag this MIDI loop here, it looks like a series of blocks. These blocks are data or pieces of information that tell Logic when to play certain notes, how hard to play them, remember velocity, And so it doesn't generate sound on its own, but instead it indicates to the software instruments in Logic when to play their sounds. And then we have the drummer loop here, as we mentioned. So let me get rid of some of this stuff here. And there's a particular bass sound I have in mind. So let's go over here. Let's select bass from our different available sounds. And then from genre, I'm going to pick hip hop. And let's take a look here. I think I'm going to choose Jet Set Bass here. So if I click on it, it'll actually play to the BPM and the key of your song. So in this case, the BPM is 85. In this case, the project is in C major. So all I have to do now is literally just click, hold, and drag this into my project. And now the Apple loop populates my project. Pretty handy. Check it out. Perfect. So now let's close some of these menus, the Apple Loops browser, also the editor here. Often Logic users will ask me, hey, if I use Drummer or Apple Loops, is that okay? Or am I going to get into trouble with Apple? Like, is there some sort of intellectual property thing that I need to be concerned with? And the bottom line is, these sounds are royalty free. These sounds exist for you to use for your songs. So it's not a big deal. If you tried to sell this bass loop by itself on like a loop library, then you're going to get into some trouble because you didn't record that loop. But otherwise, go for it. Use it in your songs. No big deal. Okay, next up, I'm going to go to track. I'm going to open the new track section, and I want to open a guitar style audio track. I'm going to make sure to load the default patch by enabling this, and this will populate this audio track with a guitar amp and some pedals. Perfect. And if we go into the mixer here using the button right here, you can see we have a guitar amp available to us. Close out of that. We have a pedal board as well. Perfect. So now I'm going to record my guitar idea to this performance. Once again, I want to make sure that input monitoring is available for me to use. And I also want to record enable this track. Just to double check, let's go to the mixer, make sure that my input 1, is set in the input section here. Okay, we should be good to go. So I'm going to start from the beginning here, and I'm going to leave the metronome off, but I'm going to make sure that there's a count in for me. So this is going to be a 4 count of the metronome before the song starts. And I can hit the record button here, or I can actually hit R on my Mac's keyboard to start recording. Okay, pretty decent rough idea. So now I'm going to turn off the input monitoring so I don't have to listen to my guitar when I'm not playing it. And now I want to lay down some keys real quick. So if I once again go to track, new software instrument track, Logic is going to create a software instrument track and open the library for us so we can choose the sound that we want to use. So I'm thinking something along the lines of the vintage electric piano. And I'm thinking something sort of ambient. And I'm going to dig into the experimental options that come included in Logic. So go down the menu here, and if you make any changes, they're not going to be saved when you change the preset. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's pretty loud and crazy. I'm going to go with that chop piano. It's pretty aggressive, but if I go into the mixer here, bring it down, I think that should work. So I'm using a key command to open and close the mixer, which is the key X on your Mac keyboard. But again, you can use this button here. Okay, so I think I have an idea. Let me turn off the record enable button, and let's try and see what I can come up with here. Awesome. So my performance is not perfect, but we can clean this up, and I'll demonstrate that to you in the next following videos. But as you can see, we can get right down to making music. Once again, with drummer tracks, we can choose the style of music that we want our drum performances to be in the vein of. So in this case, I picked a modern hip hop kit performed by Anton. And if we go into the editor menu here, symbolized by a pair of scissors, we can change the style of performance, the instruments of the performance, choose from presets, so on and so forth. And then I went into the Apple Loop library, which is represented by this loop here. I picked out a bass sound that felt good to me. I whittled it down by clicking on these tabs here, chose bass as my instrument, the genre hip hop, and then I chose the Apple Loop just by dragging and dropping it into my session. Then I opened a guitar style track, and if we close the Apple Loop browser here, you can see in the library that we have different electric guitar and bass sounds. Clean guitar, crunch guitar, distorted. I just worked with the default patch that opens when you open a new guitar style audio track. And then we go right down here to our chop piano performance, and we use the library to select a different piano sound. I adjusted the level in the mixer here by adjusting the fader, and then I hit record and I record it. Just remember to turn on the record enable button on any tracks that you want to record before you hit the record button, just so Logic knows that you intend to record either MIDI or audio to those tracks. Now tomorrow we're going to dig into more features included in Logic and kind of tune up this performance. See you then.